Hi, my name is Elise, and you're listening to Chatterbox Island English Podcast. Hello and welcome back to Chatterbox Island English Podcast. I'm your host, Elise. As always, we're gonna chat about different topics in English on this podcast. So in the last episode, we talked about the good side and the bad side of social media and how to try not to let it influence your daily life or mental health. So if you haven't listened to that episode or you want to listen to any previous episodes of this podcast, you can click on any platform that you're listening to right now. And now it's the end of October. I can't believe 2020 is almost over. So, to celebrate the spooky season, we're gonna talk about ghosts today. But not the supernatural kind of ghosts, but they might be around you right now. Well, not right now, but they might exist in your daily life. So, what are the ghosts that I'm talking about? According to Cambridge Dictionary, ghost as a verb or ghosting as a noun means a way of ending a relationship with someone suddenly by stopping all communication with them. So I don't know about you guys, but I have been ghosted several times, and I can say that it is the most terrible feeling ever. And it's not just romantic relationships. Ghosting can happen in any kind of human relationship. So friendship, partnership, or even when you're just casually seeing someone, that is also a kind of human relationship. And according to recent research and studies, ghosting can really have a huge negative impact on the person who is ghosted. With online communication being the only way of communicating sometimes in a relationship, like you don't really actually see that person, but you might communicate through the internet. When the person that you like or the person who is somewhat important to you stops returning your texts, the emotional consequences can run from unpleasant to extremely traumatic, because you can't talk to the person face to face and ask them why. There's a lack of closure to the relationship, and it's an ambiguity that makes it impossible to interpret what went wrong. And it takes away any chance to work through what went wrong in the relationship. Some even see it as similar to the silent treatment, which is called 冷战 in Chinese, which has been described as a form of emotional cruelty or even abuse, I think. And ghosting is even more hurtful to people who have low self-esteem, because when they can't figure out why the other person stops talking to them or responding to them at all, they tend to take it upon themselves, and they believe that it's their own fault that they are being ghosted or ignored in order for them to have some kind of closure or an answer. And in psychological studies, this kind of social rejection has even been found to activate the same neurological pathways as physical pain. So the feeling of being ghosted might actually be traumatizing or physically painful for those who have low self-esteem. And so, what do we do when we have been ghosted? If you are hurting from having been ghosted, I would say just remember that the message you've received or the action that the other person has taken says more about the other person than it does about you. Someone who ghosts you is declaring that they are not ready to treat you like an adult or to be honest about their feelings in anything approaching more mature and delicate situation. it's a clear sign that they are not able to have a mature relationship with you at this time. So, to put it simply, it's not your fault. I can't emphasize it enough, because when I was going through the times that I was being ghosted, I have definitely questioned if it is my own fault or if it's because I'm not good enough, I'm not worth the other person's time, to the point that they don't even want to explain why they don't want to talk to me anymore. So if your self-esteem has been damaged by the way someone else ended a relationship, please don't sacrifice any more of it by trying to communicate with someone who cannot do so in a mature way. You will definitely do better to spend your time with someone who appreciates you and can handle a relationship maturely. And if you are a ghoster, please stop it. Start communicating with others and just be honest with yourself and the other people around you. I think this is the least you can do, or the least that we can do as a human being and adults, to have the respect to say to the other person that, hey, I don't have the time right now, or I don't feel like continuing this relationship or this conversation. And if you are being ghosted, just remember, it's not your fault and it's time to move on. It's a really weird episode. I just feel like it's a Halloween season, so let's talk about ghosts. But that's all for today's Chatterbox Island English podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to our show on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, KKBox, and SoundOn. Yes, our podcast is on KKBox and SoundOn right now. And you can also find our shows on YouTube and go on our website, that's www.eisland.com.tw, for more information. I'm your host, Elise, and I'll talk to you soon in the next episode. Bye!